Attention everyone, the unpleasant noise you are about to hear coming from your radio is not a mistake.
Okay, first things first, what is your name?
This is Big Sonny playing the best of the 90s and beyond.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Radio in motion.
Please do not turn off your radio, but turn up the volume on your receiver as high as it can go.
All right, ready, here we go.
Radio in motion.
Hey everyone, it's Tuesday night, 6:04 p.m. It's time for Radio in Motion. Thanks for joining me. We got a great show tonight. Since the weather's getting better, I've been inspired to feel like going for a drive. So tonight is very 90s drive themed. Just that sort of taking a road trip in the 90s. And again, maybe some of the songs aren't from the 90s, but they're all 90s themed or 90s inspired. It has that sound of just relaxing and hitting the road. Speaking of driving and hitting the road, though, I am lucky to be here. If you are driving into Sunbury, let me tell you, as a bit of a traffic update, there's an accident after Gap Road, and it is wreaking havoc on the Calder. So if you are driving, listening to this, and on your way to Sunbury, I suggest taking the airport way around. But yeah, it's pretty bad out there. I left work hours ago. But thankfully, I did make it because, look, I've had my car hover converted. So, of course, I just popped it into hover mode and flew on over to the radio station. I only wish that were true. The reason I mentioned that is because I was thinking back, remember Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2 had the DeLorean hover converted? Well, when they went to the future, that was 30 years in the future, but we've now passed that. That was 2015. So, again, especially with movies, always a bit warped on what we think the future is because, yeah, we're definitely not exactly flying around quite yet in the sky. And I've actually said this before. Frankly, I don't think we're actually suitable for that. Yeah, there's enough craziness on the ground. Imagine if we were all in the air, what that nightmare would look like. Anyway, we've got a great show lined up tonight, and later on we'll be chatting with one of our fantastic guests, Adam, and the world-famous Adam. And we'll have a good chat with him just about a lot of topical subjects and anything he wants to chat about, because frankly, he cracks me up. All right, we're going to kick off tonight with Dave Matthews Band on our 90s Drive. You're listening to Radio in Motion on Sunbury Radio 99.3 FM. Incubus with Drive. Before that, John Mayer and Why Georgia. And before that, Dishwalla with Counting Blue Cars. All part of our 90s Drive session tonight on Radio in Motion. Trying to get that vibe of going for a nice long drive when the weather's beautiful. All right, it is 6:30 and I've got a fantastic special guest tonight. I've got the FBI's least wanted man, Adam Campbell, on the line. Adam, are you there?
I am. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you? I still have to make you some sort of intro that's encompassed around the FBI's least wanted man.
I've been long enough now I can have a theme tune.
Yeah, well, I don't know what that would sound like. I guess maybe something like Unsolved Mysteries or like, but they're not looking for you. So what would...
They're not looking for me, no. They're I could just, I could really just, like, actually, I'll tell you what now, this is an exclusive. I've even knocked on the door at FBI. I went, guys, I'm hearing everything.
Right.
Just let you know, I'm right here.
Right.
They're like, yeah, we're aware of that.
So yeah,
just so you know, like, I'm not on the top 10 or anything, or top 100, top 1,000, but I'm still around and
yeah. So yeah, you walked right up and you pretty much like the movie Seven. You walked right in and you put your hands out and you said, "Detectives, I'm here," and they didn't come get you.
Yeah, and they were just like eating like a ham sandwich and just drinking some coffee. And like, yeah, we saw you did this last week as well.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just trying to get attention. But,
Oh well, look, you're on a list. At least you're on a list. It's a least wanted list, but it's a list. It's all right. Your name is somewhere. It's still a list.
That's the way I look at it. It's still a list.
Oh my goodness.
It may not be in the top 10 or anything, but I'm still on some list somewhere. So,
I was reading the news here since obviously I'm not only the DJ, I have to produce my own show, so I'm always looking at the news here. And this one popped up that said, Darling Downs, a snake catcher, Gunter Glasser is in hospital after a snake bite from a brown snake, and it's just, I suppose, the way the phrase is, it was just too fast for me, he told Nine News. You're always watching what they can do, but it was just too fast. And it just worries me a bit because they're out there, the brown snakes. And I was wondering,
they definitely are.
have you ever had an encounter with a snake in Australia or anywhere?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I actually do have a good story about this one.
Yeah.
So I've lived in Australia for 18 years, and of course, like internationally, Australia is known as like this sort of land of the lost. Of course, that we've got these giant, ferocious, man-eating spiders and these terrible, festering snakes everywhere.
That's
but I've only ever seen two. So one was just scurried out right in front of us as we were driving in the regional area of New South Wales. But there was one time where I've actually come face to face with one, and
yeah.
So I used to live in Wollongong before I moved to Melbourne, and Wollongong has got this great escarpment, and in this escarpment you can actually go for bushwalks and that sort of thing. So one day I decided to go and do that, and I was walking through the bush in the escarpment, and I looked down and I saw like this black tube, like it looked like a hose. It was on the ground, and I looked down, and then like this red like tongue like flashed out of its mouth, and it scurried into the bush. I don't know what snake it was, but I didn't hang around. I ran. I actually did run. So not exactly the Bear Grylls man of the wild over here. We've got the exact opposite to that.
Look, I wouldn't suggest anyone tangles with any sort of snake. Just give it a wide berth. I grew up with rattlesnakes. I suppose that's a bit different. They tend to have a pretty good reach. They jump out.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that is the thing. Like I say, I would never try to compare, Australia's nasty flora and fauna with Arizona, but there's some nasty stuff in Arizona. And yeah, the thing with rattlesnakes is, snakes are on the ground, but a rattlesnake has a good, probably your arm length reach to get you in a spot you might not want to be gotten. Yeah. So that's
wow. Did you ever know anyone then that got bitten by a rattlesnake?
No, not really. But I'll say my friends and I, we've all had encounters because, as you do, especially in the desert as a teenager, like I say, we were kind of like vampires because it was all about really just staying inside and looking out your window and waiting for the sun to go down. I swear to God, because Arizona is very outback hot. It's very hot, 45 plus easy in the summer. So it was mostly about waiting till dusk, and then all the teenagers would emerge and all the bikes come out.
And it's like that all year round.
No, but long enough, all summer, but probably a few months on each end too. As in, the weather is nice, but June, July, August can be a scorcher. So look, everyone's got air conditioning, but still, you tend to. The real fun stuff is at night. So yes, you go out in the desert like an idiot, and we walk around. So I suppose the trick is not to scurry when you walk. Pick up your feet. You know what I mean? Walk with purpose. Step up and down. Don't scoop. You know what I mean? Because you'll scoop up a snake. So I've almost stepped on them, is what I was alluding to. I've definitely almost stepped on them. As in, I'd put my foot down, they would rattle, and that's their warning, and I would just slowly back away and say, and a good day, and a good day to you, sir, and your family, and walk away. But hey, that's why they have the rattle. They do give you a warning. You get a good couple seconds to decide how you want to proceed. But yeah, that is funny with snakes. And like I say, this guy saying it was too fast. But what else is going on? I was curious to talk to you about the whole Twitter thing and how you think about that. And it's funny that Twitter is even such a big deal, and all politicians and billionaires in the world are all worried about it. It's just so odd that we've pinned our hopes on an app that's basically just a chat app. But I suppose, from my point of view, the importance of Twitter is that it should be run as it was meant to at the start, which is really an open forum in a town square, as in everyone gets to have their say. You may not like it, but that's life. It is like someone standing in the town square, and he stands up on a soapbox, and he says to the crowd whatever he wants, and the people who are interested stay. The people who don't want to hear it, they can go, or they can stay, but then the next guy gets to step up and say what he wants. You know what I mean? I suppose that's the one thing I'm hoping Elon Musk sticks to his guns and says that it is an open forum, in that it's not for one side to watchdog. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like when they say misinformation, I suppose that's a fine line, because who's misinformation and who's the one policing that? You know what I mean? And what's their views and political views? Like I say, I'm not a political person, but it's hard these days because the political parts come and chase you down. I try to avoid them, but they've been chasing me down and tackling me. You know what I mean? They come into your life, so you can't help but be part of it. So yeah, that's
actually very true, because we've spoken about this before. I try very, very hard to avoid any social media, but I have to say, I use Reddit. I use that quite a lot just to read the news.
Yeah,
I find out what's happening in the world, and I've actually just started using Instagram, believe it or not.
Okay.
I haven't had the courage yet to post anything, mainly because I think no one would care less what I've got going on.
You're just lurking. You're just watching.
I just lurk, yeah. Lurking works for me.
You're a classic lurker.
Being FBI's least wanted person as well.
That fits.
I've got it down to a T now, just lurking.
Oh, so that's your profile. That's your FBI profile. He's a lurker. He's not really...
Yeah, lurker, yeah.
He's
very friendly lurker. It doesn't really do anything. Probably just needs a bit of attention, but yeah, that's it, yeah.
So you're just watching, yeah.
With Twitter, I think, why did he buy it? I mean, why did he need it for? I mean, $44 billion to buy this thing.
Yes.
Really, he has enough money. He could have just built his own Twitter from scratch.
True.
Why did he buy it for?
I think because he recognizes that even though it seems silly that this platform has influence, it's not worth that. He overpaid by billions. It is not worth that. But what the thing that is worth the value is, again, I'm not trying to pick one side or the other. I know the minute I start talking about this, people go, "Oh, you're a right winger or a left winger." No, it's about, I just believe in freedom of speech at its purest heart. And Twitter, I think, had a certain type of the people who are running it, they had a certain view, and they kept it that way. Again, that's not me being, conspiracy theory. That's a fact. He even found a closet full, and all the T-shirts say, "Stay woke." I'm just saying it's not good to have something that should be an open forum to have just one view, whether it is left or right, whatever. You know what I mean? So I think his thing was he saw its importance to bring it back to what it was meant to be, which again was an open forum for all. That's all he has in mind. I think he's just interested in being a little bit more involved in the world, having so much money. Again, I could be wrong, but I think he's just looking to get himself in the game. I don't know what game that is, but he's in it now. I will say one thing I sort of disagree with. Yeah. And I don't mind him firing people, by the way. I think a lot of people get triggered like, oh, he's fired thousands of people. I'll be honest, a lot of these people were real entitled. I'm sorry. A lot of them would go to work. They had free breakfast, free lunch. We're talking millions of dollars worth, okay? $10 million a year on free breakfast and lunch. Dude, buy your own lunch. You know what I mean? The company itself was just wasting money. And then people are like, oh, how are they going to do it with all those, they need all those coders there. Not everybody is in a room. There's not, you and I know, we sort of work in the business. There's not 100 guys in a room all on the computer at once. Like, oh, we got a tweet. And someone prints it out. We got one. And he passes it out to 100 people and retweets it. None of that is happening. It's an automated piece of software. Yes, it needs to be watched over, regulated, servers, and, yes. But honestly, in this day and age, you don't need an office building of 10,000 people to run an app. You and I know it only
now
takes,
we know. You don't need that. You can work anywhere in the world now on this sort of thing.
Yeah. So again, I think he was cutting the fat. Nothing wrong with that. The one thing I think he needs to tone down, I think as the owner, yes, you should use your product and promote it, but he really is on there a lot. He's like his own troll. I mean, he's like direct messaging just random people who's, hey, Elon, what's up? He's all, hey, you know what I mean? He's really... Don't you think he should hold back a bit so he can have a more unbiased view rather than respond to every tweet? I don't know. Maybe you think differently. You know what I mean? He's on it constantly.
Didn't he say, I watched him in the TED Talk, he said he was going to make it open source? Am I saying that? Is that right? I don't know. I don't know, programming and all that, but I think that's what he was planning on doing.
Wow, that's a whole different move right there. That's a different kind of monster.
Yeah, but probably, as he was saying though, like the Twitter probably had like thousands of people that work there, but maybe you only needed to run it with like 1,000 or maybe like 500 people. So it's like Wikipedia, for example. I mean, like, although that's all like volunteers, it's only like 6 full-time people, I think, that work there.
Yeah, so like I say, I don't mind him cleaning house. It's his company; he can do what he wants. And then again, a lot of I don't know if it's a Gen Z sort of mentality, but there was this whole thing where I think there was some miners or there was some hard labor sort of people who were put out of work a couple of years ago, and there were a lot of tweets saying, "Oh, well, learn to code." That's fine. We all need to broaden our horizons, especially if you lose a job. You have to think outside the box and learn new skills. But for all of them, I would have to say, well, learn to pick up a shovel or learn to pick up a drill. No, I'm saying learn a skill. Learn a skill. If you're going to say that to miners who've been working their ass off for years and then they all got laid off and someone says, "Oh, well, learn to code." All right, well, you can also learn to maybe look like those the ones who hold the signs in the streets for the workers. Hey, they make hella good money. So I'm just saying I don't like it when a lot of people are pretentious and they downplay certain jobs. There's jobs out there like the dirtiest jobs in the world. There's jobs that men and women are doing right now that require them to go and dig a hole 100 feet under the ground or sit up on an electrical wire and fix it during a rainstorm. There are a lot of jobs that have merit that keep the world running, and they don't necessarily have to do with someone at home on the computer. Again, I'm not knocking either, but I don't like it when people do the...
Yeah, well, it's always... you can never have enough plumbers or builders.
That's it. How do you think the world
electricians,
runs? Yeah.
Those jobs will be around forever. You'll always need them.
That's it. A carpenter. How do they think things get built? Like, they don't just spring out of the digital world. Oh, I've designed a home, and now... by my mind powers, I will make it true. Some dude still has to go out there with a hammer. Whether it's an old-fashioned hammer or a hammer gun or a hammer machine gun, someone has to pull the trigger in a James Bond sort of way. Someone's still got to pull the trigger. But yeah, look, I do hope it is something that he sticks to his guns and he just wants to open it up. Because again, the thing I'm not a fan of is those who say they are the gatekeepers of misinformation. That worries me because who are you? Yeah, now you've become the gatekeeper. Who's watching you? Who's watching the watchers? You know what I mean? I don't like that.
That's right, exactly. That's right. Well, that's what's happening, isn't it? It's really these tech companies are like dictatorships or like a utopia in their own way. You've got the one person controlling everyone underneath. We're all sort of being fed into this machine that they all control. But
that's it. Like I said, I miss the days where no matter what side you were on, I thought the greatest power we have as humans is to have that discussion together, peacefully and amicably. Either you walk away and you've learned something. I think even if you agree to disagree, you've learned something. I think there's this one show I watch, Louder with Crowder. He does these things. He's always going to campuses, and all he says is change my mind. You know what I mean? He doesn't try to push his view or narrative. He just says this is what I think and change my mind. And people sit down and a lot of times they have fantastic discussions, and these people are on the opposite sides, you know? They may be on the far left and the far right, but the ones who I think who are intelligent, emotionally intelligent, by the way, too, they come away saying, well, I still don't agree with you, but, you know, I've learned some things, and I'll look those up after we talk, and I'm curious now. You know what I mean?
That's better, I think, because then at least you're growing as a person, having those kinds of discussions.
Yeah.
This whole cancel culture stuff, it's I don't really know if it's helping so much.
No, because they're judging. Again, who are they to judge?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm happy to listen. Like it's again, whatever it is, whatever. If it's is that you or me? Someone calling you? Excellent. All right. So yeah, what in the hell were we talking about? Oh yeah, Twitter and you know who?
Yeah, I think we were.
Who's the gatekeeper? You know, when you say I'm the keeper of what's right and what's wrong. You know, who watches the watchers? And that makes it difficult for it to be an open forum. Look, you know, the other thing I say is I tell people all the time, just get off there first of all. For a while, you know, get off of social media. You will immediately feel better about yourself. Do you feel
Definitely.
Like it weighs you down? I know you said you just got on Instagram, but you're just lurking right now. But do you see that? And again, we were talking about cancel culture. I think, you know, it used to be people would have a conversation, and I'll be honest. Another thing about Twitter or anything that's posted in the digital avatar world, the avatar of yourself, the projected image of yourself. You know, half the things, if not all the things people say, I guarantee you they wouldn't say them in person. You know what I mean? Because it's a whole different thing to say it to someone's face. Let's say you didn't like Joe Rogan and you told him off in front of his face. He's a muscly guy. You know what I mean? It's easy.
Yeah, that's right.
Anonymously.
And now you just write like a mean tweet about him, and then that's it, he gets cancelled. The other thing I found as well, like social media, is I don't know how people spend all their time on it, because after a few minutes of it, I'm really bored.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I've seen everything I wanted to see. I've read everything I wanted to read. Let's go on with my day now. I just don't know how people can pour their entire day into it, days and weeks and whatever else into it.
But they do. I think you're doing it the right way, and I try to do that just to say, okay, I'm up to speed on the world, but I'm overwhelmed now. I do just drive-bys. I watch some clips on YouTube. Oh yeah, I'm in the know. Now I don't care. I'm off. But people spend all day on it. And I'll be honest, like anything else, it's feeding their addiction. And for anyone who scoffs at that, it's 100% the same as an addiction. It's an echo chamber. The more things you look for, even negative things, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, it'll just keep giving them to you. You know what I mean? It's just an echo chamber for your good or bad mood. And it accentuates your bad mood, I'll be honest. And that's not good. That's not normal.
No, definitely not.
So yeah,
it isn't. No, it's you know, like, you still need to see human beings. You still need to go. You still need to be connected with the world around you. That's probably one of the things that the internet has done, isn't it? Which is they're connected, but also disconnected.
That's, you know what, you've said it perfectly, and I've always said about like Steve Jobs. You know, sure, a visionary man, but, you know, this was actually a flawed man who was terrible with people. He was terrible with other humans. So I think, you know what, this vision is kind of his vision, this connected world. I'm not saying he invented the internet, but he was pivotal in sort of pushing products that were about connecting us in the digital space. I can see that he sort of saw this in his mind in the future, but this came from someone who was not good with other people, frankly. And you know what I mean? It's a world he wanted to live in, but it's not healthy, like you say. It's disconnected.
It is a disconnect, yeah. That's it, you know, and it's...
How are you working from home?
It will get worse as well, definitely.
How are you from working from home? Because, again, I'm curious about that side effect from COVID.
Oh, well, bad. For me, I can't work from home.
Oh, okay.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have to go into the office and work. I have to go to work. Instead of work being where I live, I find it very difficult. So, yeah, oftentimes I'm in the office, but I'm in the office on my own.
Oh, goodness.
So, but I think I prefer that. I think I prefer to, like, get up in the morning, get changed, get ready for work,
I
catch
agree.
the tram, go to the office, sit down, get myself ready for the day and have a tea or whatever, and then start the work and then work throughout the day. I think that works better for me than getting up like 5 minutes before I'm meant to start and then turning the laptop on. It's not. It just doesn't. For me, it doesn't work.
No. It's again. I think it's a natural human nature thing for us to go and be with others, and then when you do accomplish something, it's just not quite the same on Zoom. It'd be like a Zoom birthday party. Yay! Everyone's so excited. Nobody's excited. It's lame. So it's the same with. I mean, a lot of Zoom meetings, they just drive me nuts, especially since, I'll be honest, where I work, I've had to be at work, and I'll be honest, I'm getting the shits with a lot of people who I always see, they got their background and the dog walks up or the cat jumps on and like, oh, you silly boy. And I'm like, you're annoying me because I'm at work and you're just chilling at home. But having said that, like you say, I'm happy to have gone out. And yeah, the commute sucks sometimes, but to have that interaction with other people and then go to your home. The other thing, I'll be honest, I feel like it's invading your sacred space. So yes, some people have home offices, but it's kind of like don't poop where you eat kind of thing. You know what I mean? You've brought that stress.
Yeah. Definitely.
You brought that energy into your home. Isn't that weird?
If people have studies, and they've made it sort of like the study/home, maybe I could see the appeal to that. But I still think that for myself, I need to be able to go to work.
Well, maybe there'll be a split. It'll be the Morlocks and the Eloi from Time Machine. You know what I mean? So I'm serious. So the Morlocks live underground, right? And they are the ones who work the machines. Yeah. They're the ones that keep it all going. They're the ones that pull the levers and make the gears and keep the Eloi, who are really just livestock. They keep them in a happy social society where there's no stress and they're just running through the fields and life is wonderful and they're swimming in their little flowing gowns. But every once in a while, let me tell you what, folks, the Morlock comes up, gonna grab one of y'all. I'm just saying, that might be where you think I'm on the right track. Is that where society's gonna go?
Yeah, I think that's what will happen. That's definitely where society's going. Well,
there's gonna be the workers.
Did you ever see the film The Time Machine with Guy Pearce?
Yeah, I saw both.
When the human beings are split in two.
Oh yes,
there's ones that live in the cave and there's ones that live in a spaceship or wherever it is. I'm sure that's how it'll end up eventually.
Well, that's the thing. It'll be the ones who work from home and the ones who had to go in the city. Well, or like we were saying, there's the tech jobs and there's the jobs that, look, as much as there's automation and machines and, the Ford Motor Company, decades ago came up with the assembly line. Actually, I think it was, truth be told, Colt guns. I think they were the first idea of assembly line rather than one person assembling an entire gun. They had
really?
They had a different person make each piece, and then they were assembled on a kind of assembly line. So that's an interesting tidbit from the past. And then, of course, the whole Ford Motor Company. So yeah, I get it. Automation won't stop, but at some point, you're always going to need a human hand. I don't foresee that changing. And I hope it doesn't, because what a sad world. But
yeah, I don't think that the Tesla bots are completely take us out of a job just yet. But there will be a generation that will never work.
Really?
They'll never have I'm sure that will happen one day.
How do you mean? What do you mean?
There'll just be a generation of people that won't, because it'll all be automated, it'll all be robots, it'll be something. Where what will your career be? You'll just have a job. You'll just be born, you go to school, and then you get into your 20s, you go to college, and then what do? You wouldn't have no work, no career. I'm sure that will happen eventually. I don't know when that will happen, though.
Well, okay, this is all the dystopia, and this transitions into, I wanted to talk about a couple movies, so this is probably a good transition. Yes, it's that dystopian future, and especially where there's more AI and artificial intelligence and everything that a man used to do, a man or a woman, something they would craft with their hands or use their brain, it all becomes automated. Do you know that's sort of the premise behind Dune, and why technology So again, Dune is all future sci-fi and space travel, right? Interstellar space travel. But
that's right.
There's an underlying thing in the books on Dune in that as much as the humans have evolved into this amazing technology, they reject artificial intelligence and robots doing all the work for them. Did you know that that's a pivotal part of Dune? I think that's interesting. So they're happy to move forward with all advancement and space travel, but they will hold back on certain things to not take away from the human experience. They won't allow robots to do everything. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. Yeah. So what would you say would be like something that only a person could do?
Look, it's funny. Again, I'm not one to say, I don't believe in rules, and then on the other hand, come up with rules. But I think that I think with technology, there needs to be thought around how far you go. Yes, I'm not sure what, but I think there should be a limit to say what should we stop and not automate. I don't know if that's possible though. Because humans just invent for invention's sake.
Exactly. We're always going to be keep inventing the next thing, technology never ends. And
I suppose medical, okay, I'll put that out there, medical. So
maybe.
Of course there's going to be advancements. Right now there are surgeons who are actually using like a little robot arm and with the robot assisting. I'll be honest, if someone's going to tear into me, I don't know. I guess I still trust a brilliant human to tinker with my heart than a computer, but everyone's different. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Maybe one day though it'll be like, there'll be like this like robot that will just like, and then like you're all done, and they do it in 5 minutes, like a heart surgery. Would have taken like hours to have done, and they just do it like in 5 minutes.
Oh God, have you seen Prometheus?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. You're describing the friggin' abortion machine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Where she goes, medical surgery, extraction, and it just automates it, and basically it was an automated computer.
And that's the end of that.
Abortion. It was a disturbing scene. But look, I did want to talk about one movie before. I don't want to keep you all night, but I could definitely talk to you all night. I was curious if what you think about. We always talk about reboots and stuff, and how some can work out and some might not. So, for example, Top Gun. I think that one, even though he waited a very long time, what can I say? I think it was the right time, the right script, waited for the right. Things to align, and it did well. It was a success, audience success, and monetary success, right? The new Top Gun. You'd agree, considering from...
Oh, I thought Top Gun 2 was one, that and Everything Everywhere All at Once are the two best films of the year. Excellent film.
But now, here's another one, though. I wanted to say quickly, with Top Gun, it was successful, but Avatar... I think maybe it's just one of those where lightning's not going to strike. It's kind of like at the time when it came out. Yeah, James Cameron, of course, I trust the man. He has made some of my favorites. And, frankly, James Cameron is good at sequels. Terminator 2 and Aliens, frankly, I feel being better than the first. So he has it in him to do that.
He does.
But Avatar, of all movies, I'll be honest, it was, yes, at the time... It was the biggest money-making movie. But I think it was at a time where a lot of movies are like, meh. But did we...
And also, it was just so... everything about it was just brand new. It was just a brand new experience. Like, no one had really watched 3D before for, like, a really, really long time.
Yes.
And the 3D technology had improved so much, so that was a new experience. But technology to create all the avatars as well... all that CGI, all the motion, all that sort of thing. It was just so far ahead of everything. I actually read, I think it was last week or the week before, Avatar 2 has to make over $2 billion
yep.
To make a profit.
That's what I read.
Isn't that incredible?
Yes.
That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm sorry. I just don't think... The bar has been raised too high, and the CGI has hit a wall. Do you agree? You know what I mean? We've hit a wall. It's as good as it's going to get, and it's not going to get any more realistic. I'll be honest, as awesome as Marvel movies are and stuff, even a 5-year-old can look at things sometimes and know in their soul, in their mind, it doesn't look quite right, and they go, oh, that's fake. So we've hit a CGI wall, so that's not spectacular. 3D is like, I don't care. So what's it have going for it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot.
That's saying he's got like another 2 more to come out. So,
that's right. Oh God.
It's like I don't know, but when I was working at Deluxe, we were printing and processing all the Avatar stuff, so I saw the films before everyone else.
Oh yeah.
But I just thought it was a good story, but not amazing. But the special effects were incredible, but the story itself I thought was quite ordinary. I didn't think it was a mind-blowing story. But that's what he's always pretty good with his stories and all that sort of thing. But it's going to be very interesting to see. He has to be able to beat Endgame to make any sort of money to be like the number 1 film again.
Yeah. And
maybe he'll do it. I mean, it'll be incredible if he does. I mean, it'd have to be absolutely. I just don't know. I think maybe the sequel won't do as well, but maybe the 3rd one will, and then I don't know. It's sort of like the Matrix films, isn't it? They went off and made the first one was a big success, and then making the second and the third one, second one was not too bad, but the third one just was terrible, and then the 4th one has been absolutely easily the worst film I've seen this year.
I know. And like you say, is the story good enough? Because I think people are tired of all the Marvel crap. I'll be honest, I had a good 10-year run. I was excited. But now I'm back into I want a good story, good characters, good directing. And Avatar, it was never really, it was kind of a weak story. It was like Saving Private Dances with Wolves. It was those stories have all been done. It was kind of a Dances with Wolves story. He goes native, he understands, becomes part of the people, but it was kind of all the Saving Private Ryan machine. The story, I just don't care. And I think it's, James, out of all the movies, I don't know, man. But,
I don't know either, but, I'm not even that interested in seeing it, to be honest.
Well, that's not a good start.
No, so I don't know. Jim Cameron hasn't got me yet.
No,
he hasn't got me sold. I'll have to wait.
Yeah,
wait and see what everyone else thinks.
I don't know. Maybe if you see it in 4DX, Danny's always trying to sell me that, where you feel it and smell it, and there's water spray in the theater, and you smell the jungle, and I don't know. Have you ever done that?
Oh, the 4D experience.
Yeah. He said he saw Top Gun.
I haven't done it. Actually, have I done it?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think I have done that, actually.
Yeah. Well, what would the smells be? He said he saw Top Gun. So what would it be? Jet fuel or
Jet fuel?
Tom
or
cologne.
Cologne, or a hair gel, or a.
Oh yeah. Those fighter pilots. Oh boy, it's a whole room full of hair gel.
Or that smell that only Tom Cruise can smell of. It's that rich person smell that he has.
I don't know what that is.
It's from a plant that only he knows.
Oh yeah, it's something Scientology's been giving him, and he has a smell. And you go, what is that? I've never smelled that. It's unearthly. Well, that's because it, in fact, comes from Saturn, and only Tom Cruise has it. Rich people, what can you do? All right. Well, on a good note, is there anything coming up movie-wise that you're excited about?
Actually, Glass Onion. I saw that on the weekend. That was very good.
Yeah.
Just as good as the first. So Glass Onion's the sequel to Knives Out.
Okay.
And that's just as good as the first one. So
I know you're picky about accents, though. Are you okay with his sort of cheesy Southern accent? Are you okay with that?
Well, that's fine because I don't know any better.
Okay.
But if it's an English accent, I'm very meticulous about it.
Okay, all right. You just pick apart English accents.
But the Benoit Blanc accent, I mean, it sounds correct to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, it's hard for me to disassociate Daniel Craig with James Bond, but I'll try.
But yeah, no. I saw. So Glass Onion was very good. The Menu was very good. There was actually a documentary on Apple TV Plus that I watched called Louis Armstrong's Black and Blues. That was also very, very good as well. Very interesting.
Yeah. I like that. Anything to take away from the Dahmer docu movie, I'm happy to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's all right. Well, all I can do is suggest for you, if you haven't gotten into it already, I would love you to get into Yellowstone, because then you get to watch a prequel TV show called 1883, and then you get to watch another prequel with Harrison Ford. So you can't beat that. If you watch Yellowstone, you get 2 other shows on the side. If you get into it.
I do need to start watching that, actually, because there's they've got a new one that as well, haven't they, with Helen.
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Helen Mirren, and Harrison.
Yeah. So that's.
I'll have to get onto that as well.
That's it.
There's a lot. There's a few. There's a few to watch. So
on Wednesday, I'm curious about that. I must say it first.
I watched that.
Yeah,
I did watch that. Yeah, I'd finished watching that.
I love Addams Family. Will I like it or will I be annoyed?
I think.
Did they wreck it? I don't want to know now.
No, I really enjoyed it a lot. Really enjoyed it, and I actually thought it was
okay.
Maybe it's just creeped in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like number 10 or number 11 top TV shows of the year. Maybe it's in.
Okay.
It's sort of teetering. It's almost not quite. But the writing's excellent. The character's great, of course.
All right, that's good.
And superb casting. I mean, Jenna Ortega is fantastic as Wednesday Addams, and she is just so brilliantly deadpan.
Yeah.
In the whole thing, she's fantastic. And
all right,
Catherine Zeta-Jones is Morticia.
Yeah.
And
I've spaced her name, but she's in the show as well. Who used to play Wednesday, so she's got big shoes to fill. But she's in the show.
Christina Ricci, she's in it as well.
That's good. That's nice to have someone on board, kind of in a respectful way, because again, I think when she was a kid, man, she gave a great deadpan performance too. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she really is like the Wednesday Addams, isn't she? But I think I think for a younger audience, like Jenna Ortega will take over that role, I think. But
all right, well, that's
good. I mean, it was so great watching it, I have to say, because it was like the nostalgia. I absolutely loved the Addams Family.
Yeah,
I loved all the films. I loved all the cartoons. I grew up watching the cartoons. I mean, like so much of like my sense of humor, I think, actually came from watching the cartoons. So, it's just fantastic, really. Yeah,
no, that's good.
So it's great that it's been readapted for a new younger audience.
No,
I was sort of saying this to somebody the other day, today actually, that it's almost like a much better version of Riverdale and the Sabrina TV show, like a much better, well-written, like well-thought-out show. And it's got a really,
well, that's good.
So I definitely say it's worth the watch, for sure.
I'll definitely check it out. And yes, we're definitely shaped by the shows that we watched when we were young. And I do remember watching a lot of Monty Python and the Young Ones on MTV. And I know,
Oh, yeah. 40 years old this year.
Yeah.
Young Ones.
And that humor, unfortunately, probably doesn't exist today. But, hopefully, if that's ingrained in us, we can try to bring back the tongue-in-cheek without offending anyone,
Yeah, exactly. Like that sort of... I could talk about the Young Ones a lot. I mean, that was a great show.
Yeah.
And they did another show, Rick Mell and Ada Edmondson, called Bottom, which was about these like two complete idiots who live in who share a flat together, and it's just so funny, very, very funny. It's probably like a bit outdated now. But there's an episode, which is a Christmas episode, which is one of the, I think maybe like the most like famous episode of that whole show. And when they decide to go, I won't say, but it's very good, very, very good. Like it's And also, there's another one as well. There's a Halloween one as well. They go trick or treating, and Rick Mel's got a cow prodder, and I won't say it's very good. It's very,
That's
very
right.
funny.
Look,
I mean, like that, and The Simpsons. I mean, for me, was like absolutely massive as well. And then there's The Fast Show and Smack the Pony, which were two like huge like sketch shows that I grew up watching and just absolutely loved. And the Ali G show as well.
Oh God,
it's such a huge
a lot
show
of,
for me.
A lot of that, like I say, probably wouldn't fly today. But I'll end it with this, and you'll appreciate this. I've started watching Columbo again, so I've got all those to watch. And my partner pointed out, she goes, it's funny how they made these back then. Why did they blow the plot and show you who did it? I said, well, that is the most fun and unique thing about Columbo, is that you're in on the secret. You know who did it. You saw it. And now you get to watch him find out how. And I think that is one of the most intriguing and better ways to have a whodunit show. You know what I mean? You have to watch how smart he is to play his little, I'm not really that smart, but behind the scenes, he's brilliant. So that's what I always loved about the show. You get to see who did it at the start. You have to watch him figure it out. That's perfect. Perfect premise, don't you think? Yeah,
definitely. You as the audience, you've already got the knowledge that he doesn't.
Yeah.
So you're the one trying to, like, the fun is watching him figure out all the clues and coming to the solution at the end. It's a very, and as you say, completely unique. I haven't really seen that been done many other times afterwards.
Oh, and
not to that effect anyway.
No, and I love watching the technology from the 70s and stuff where today it's funny, you'd think it's easier to get away with stuff today, but I don't know, maybe it is easier, but yeah, back then, everything was very analog and using phone taps, and maybe there's some guy who has to pretend he's in the office so he has a transistor radio while he's on a payphone, and that's how he did the murder, and people, probably young kids would be like, what is he even doing? I'm like, well, he's using the technology at the time to try to get away with murder, and there wasn't a lot of it, All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I always love having a good chat, and I hope the FBI get around to sending you a Christmas card this year.
Exactly. Hopefully it takes some interest in me eventually.
Definitely. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll chat to you soon, all right?
All right. No problem. Have a good night.
Catch you later.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
All right, that was Adam having a good chat there, talking about a bit of everything. And we will be back with more 90s Drive on Radio Motion. You're listening to Sunbury Radio 99.3 FM. Here's a word from our sponsors.